guys, so in today's video I'm going to be doing a makeup clear out, and my makeup is kind of ridiculous. I have things from years ago which are probably out of date, which shouldn't be used, and I still keep them in my wardrobes and in my makeup drawers, and I just thought that I really need a clear out. I've been watching some people do declutters and I absolutely love it. So I was like, that's exactly what I need. So I'm going to show you a clip of me sort of narrowing down all the things that I have. So yeah, what we're going to be doing now is actually trying the products on my skin and seeing whether they look horrible or not. So the first things that we've got is foundations. I have to be honest with you, I did try some of these a minute ago and I was shocked. Like, I'm pretty sure I've had them since I was about 14 and I'm 20. That is definitely an exaggeration, but I've had them quite a few years. And I don't know how they got this far, if I'm honest. They are bad. And I don't know why they are still on the shelves, but you know, we're going to try them out because literally I use it on my skin, and please excuse my skin because I'm breaking out so much, and now we're going to put makeup on it, which is going to make it even worse. But I need to do this declutter because it's killing me. But yes, so the first one I'm going to be trying is the Rimmel London Lasting Finish foundation, and it is in 100 Ivory, which I think might be maybe my colour. I haven't used it for a while, so we don't know, but I'm just going to go in with my beauty blender and see. I haven't actually tried this one this evening, so it might be alright. That actually looks quite good coverage. I'm not going to go over my whole face because that would take ages, but as you can see, that is covering the spots pretty well. Like, the ISO is not that high, so that is a very like true finish. And yeah, like obviously you can see slight outlines, but you're gonna because they're spots. But the coloration is definitely there, and you can see the line here where it goes from foundation to my skin. And yeah, I think it's quite a nice tone to go over. It definitely gets rid of the redness. So this one I think we're gonna keep because it's not that bad. I don't mind Rimmel products, but I haven't really bought them recently because I'm trying to get all the cruelty-free makeup now. So I find that Rimmel I don't believe is cruelty-free, so I've been switching to like Body Shop. I know Bourjois is, so I've also been using Bourjois. That's what I use on a daily basis. And I don't know if Revlon is. I need to have a look because I picked up one of their foundations in desperation when it was literally the only thing that I could find that was like a nice shade to fit me when I was in a rush for, I can't remember what it was, but I needed it for something and I'd run out of all my matching colours, so I just went for the closest thing to my skin tone. So I've got one, and it is very good coverage, and it won't be in this video because I already know that I'm going to keep it. But yeah, I don't know if it's vegan, so if you do, then let me know. And my toner that I'm just using to get rid of my makeup is a toner from Wilkinson's, and it's the own brand one. Yeah. So that's the one I'm using. I'm just using it to get rid of any excess whilst we're doing this. So I've got another one that my sister gave me, and it's the Maybelline New York Superstay Full Coverage Foundation, and it's in the shade. Is that the shade? I don't know. I never used this foundation before, so I don't know how it works. Oh, 10 Ivory, another ivory one, so it should match relatively well. Yeah, this is one my sister gave me out of her makeup kit because she had a clear out herself. So I don't know what this one's going to be like. See, this is actually quite good. I might have to switch this out. That is very full coverage. I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but you can literally see nothing. That is covering way better than the other one. The other one would even give a bit of an outline, whereas this just seems to be making it just flawless, which I love. So this one is another one to keep. Don't worry, there will be some juicy ones because I already know that the next two coming up are awful. So look forward to that. I'm just going to take this off my face and then I'll be back. So the next things I'm going to be trying is this Focus and Fix and it is Makeup Revolution concealer. I don't know if you can tell, but it is literally bright yellow and it's not the kind of like colour correcting one. When I use this, as you can see, it's so thin. See? You can literally see through it. I find that this acts as more of a foundation than a concealer. I like my concealer to be thick and really white so that it really, obviously it depends on your skin tone, but you definitely want it to be like a brightening colour, whereas this yellow is just not. And I find that it doesn't do anything for my under eye bags, which are still there. It doesn't give a nice undertone for your foundation to sit on, and yeah, like the line is just like, if I go like this, you can still see the under eye bags, they're still there. So I definitely don't like this one. I knew I didn't like this one before I picked it out. I've literally just been shoving it back in the drawer repeatedly and never getting rid of it. But yeah, I don't know what the formula is, but it literally just feels like a foundation on your skin. I use Collection only. I've been using Collection since I was in school. It is literally the only product that I have kept the same forever. And I'll show you it on the other eye. And as you can see, it's a lot whiter and it's also a lot thicker. I like them to be not cakey, but you want it to be thick so that it hides the imperfection that it's meant to. So as you can see, there's quite a big difference. This one, and that was just a small amount. I used more of this and it turned out worse. So it's darker and it's not as brightening under the eye. I think the under eye looks a lot brighter on the Collection one. So yeah, I recommend Collection, but or Revlon. I sometimes like Revlon as well. But yes, definitely not that. So that's going in the bin. Shove that over there. So I'm just going to go in with the foundation anyway, even though I don't like the base. I'm probably going to use this side because I like the base more. And the foundation is the W7 Photo Shoot, which I got from B&M because I heard that it might be a dupe for something else, and it definitely isn't. I usually like W7 dupes because, you know, if you just want something easy, you're not necessarily going to use it long term, then it's quite good because like especially the eyeshadow palettes, you can get colours which are similar pigment. They're not as good, they do have a little bit of fallout, and I actually have one of them over there at the moment, but their foundations aren't quite up to par. So like this palette is I think a dupe of the Naked palette, and the colours are actually quite pigmented considering it's a dupe, but I use it like for work and stuff because I don't need anything fancy, but I definitely wouldn't use it for like a fancy occasion or something. I would use one of my more expensive palettes because that one was literally like £4. But yeah, this doesn't look crazy bad, but it's more the wear of it, I find. So you can see like all the bumps and things on my face, which I obviously don't like, and it's a bit sheer. You can kind of see any imperfections, and the colour is not nice. So this is meant to be, what shade is this? It says early tan. You can't really tell in the viewfinder, but I can tell in person that it's very orangey toned, which when it's meant to be early tan, I don't think it should be this kind of tone. And I find that it oxidizes loads. I definitely remember that when I was using it. After a couple of hours of wear, it would just be orange and you'd literally look like a lemming. So yes, I knew that one wasn't very good, so we're definitely getting rid of that one. And then on the other side of my face, I'm going to use this BB cream because I don't think it will matter that it's got a bad concealer on this side, because this is pretty bad. I never know how to apply BB creams because they're so sheer, because they're like a moisturiser, that you can't really pack it onto a beauty blender, but I'm going to try. And this just looks so like moist, which I hate, but and again it's just so orangey. So I'm going to turn the ISO down slightly, but it's just so like, you have to really not pat it too many times, which I'm trying to show you like the difference to how you would normally do your makeup. So can you see literally all of my spots? They're all there. It doesn't cover anything. Like, I know obviously it's a BB cream, but they advertise BB creams as a lighter version of a foundation, and I always find that you need to have perfect skin to use a BB cream, because otherwise they make your skin look bad. And yeah, I just don't like them. But I used to try and wear them a lot when I was younger, because I thought that it was better than foundation, but I've literally just found that it ended up, after about an hour, just sort of sitting on your face and not being like soaked in, if that makes sense. You know how like when you do your foundation it looks all flawless? It just looked like it was kind of half melting off. And I just find with quite a few BB creams, they don't like oxidize and stuff very well. So that is mostly off of my face, I think. So that one again I'm going to bin because I don't like how it looks. This one I'm not going to try because it's about 5 years old. I found this in a makeup box. I know full well, I had it when I was at school. I haven't been to school for about 3.5 years. 4 years. So yeah, that's been in there a while, and it actually has a weird smell. So like, it just smells like chemicals. You know, that means that it's definitely been in there too long, and it actually says 12 months. So that's worrying. That one's being thrown away. Right, so my sister gave me this Fit Me Maybelline Matte Poreless foundation, and it's for normal to oily skin. I have really oily skin, so this might work. And it's in the shade Ivory, so it kind of comes out all bubbly. I know my beauty blender is really disgusting. I do have a new one, I just don't want to use it for all these old products, so I'm using a rubbish one. So this looks very watery. I put way too much of that on. This isn't... it's an unusual texture and like coverage, and it looks awful. It's so like watery, I can literally hear it in the sponge where there's loads left over. Well, the coverage isn't terrible, it just takes a little while to actually get it into your skin. It looks really pale, quite too pale for me. But yeah, I feel like it's still really dewy on the skin, even though it's covering like all the imperfection things. There's just so much of it. I definitely think you don't need that much. It's a 12-month product. My sister's probably had it for about 6 because she doesn't keep things for very long. So I mean, I might keep it, see how I go with it in future. What I might do is try a powder on it to see whether that will make any difference. There's a couple of baking powders here which my sister gave me. I bought my own. I like the Makeup Revolution one. I will show you. It's in here. I like this Makeup Revolution one in the shade Lace. Absolutely love it. That is my favourite baking powder. I sometimes use it to just brush powder over my face, not necessarily bake. And it just works as well. Right, so this looks very yellow. So this is the, oh, I just got that everywhere. MUA Skin Define Matte Perfect Loose Powder. So I don't know what this is going to be like. It looks very sort of chunky. So, already, I'm not sure whether it's the powder or the foundation that was underneath, but this is looking a little bit worrying. So, I don't know if you can tell, but this is really, really dry. And it's gone all patchy, so like where you've put the powder on, here, there's a little area where the foundation's now sort of come off. So, clearly it wasn't sort of set. And yeah, all the powder's sort of gone into my pores and it doesn't look very nice. So yeah, I think that powder's a no. And it's also very, very like yellowy. It's kind of like a banana colour. See? It's a bit unusual. And I think it's probably about 5 years old because my sister had it, so I don't know how old it is, but I don't like it. And then I have this L'Oreal True Match Minerals powder. So it has the little net, so you just sort of pump the net, like pump the brush against the net, and then it comes out. So, is this any good? So this is more of like a white tone, which I would prefer. My Makeup Revolution is quite like white, just because I think if you're putting it, usually if you're baking, it's because you want to lighten the areas that you're doing it on. I'm just using this as a like a face powder to see how it works, whether it gets rid of shine and stuff, and whether it just looks cakey or not. This one doesn't look too bad, so I think I'm going to keep it. It definitely does what I want it to do. It hasn't, because it's translucent, it hasn't changed the tone of my skin or anything, which I wouldn't want. And it definitely hasn't sort of picked up the foundation like that other one did. There's literally a line here where the baking powder is sort of sunk into the moisture of the foundation because it was still moist. So instead of sort of sitting on top of it and drying it out, it's sort of just merged with it. So there's a little circle where it's just like solid foundation, and yeah, it doesn't look nice. But yes, this one doesn't seem to have affected it, so I think I'm going to keep this one. And that's what it looks like. Then we have, I'm going to use some bronzers, which I found. So I got this one from Essence, which is hitting the pan. I used to love it. I don't use it anymore. Now I use, what do I use? Now I use a Bourjois one. And then I've also got this one, which is a collection one. And as you can see, it's got a shimmer in it. I'm not sure how that's going to look, so we're going to try it. So I'm just going to use a big brush and put that in there and see what comes out. So I actually quite like that. It's quite a nice warm tone. It doesn't look, because I find that I have to go for more of like an orangey tone opposed to a cool tone bronzer, because otherwise I look a bit dead. especially if I'm pale. If I'm tanned, then I don't really mind in terms of bronzer, because if you're tan, then you can pull it off. But yeah, if I'm pale, which I am now, it's quite nice to have a more orangey one to kind of warm the skin a bit, rather than it being sort of pale and horrible. So that actually looks quite good. I know why it's hitting the pan now, because I like it. Yeah, so that one I'm going to keep. I'm going to test this out. I'm going to use this on a different brush because I don't want to get all the glitter in the brush. Like, even though I wash it, I don't know. Sometimes glitters don't come out of a brush. I've got hair on my face somewhere. That's why I'm like touching my nose so much, because there's a hair there. What can I use? So I'm just going to use this brush and see. A lot of glitter seems to be picked up on here. I'm not sure I like a glittery bronzer because I am big on my highlight. I really like using highlighter. So if my bronzer's glittery, then I can't have like a popping highlight. Or I can, it will just look a bit crazy. This has no pigment whatsoever. This was obviously already there. I just did bronzer. And I'm literally like pressing into it, and all that's coming out is glitter. Like, all that is on my forehead is glitter, like, as you can see. So yeah, that's all glitter. There's no pigment, so I can understand why I've literally never used it. So that one's a no. Then we have this. So this is a Topshop highlighter, as you can see. I got the bronze colour, which was probably way too dark for me, and I bought it about a year ago and I haven't used it, so we're going to try it. I used to use it as a bronzer because it's that dark that I probably could, but thing is, I put my highlight here, which is where most people put their highlight, and because this is so dark, it then creates a line between my bronzer and my highlight. So I actually think it might be darker. So I think I'd have to use it as a bronzer, but it's really glittery, so I don't think that that would work. So it's like putting it here, and then I'd have to put a highlight on top. So I don't think that would work. But as you can see, it's very glittery, but there's literally a line here between my highlight and my bronzer because it's too dark for my skin tone. I don't know why I bought it, but I was stupid. So that one's also a no. Then I've got this Gosh Prime Set powder, which is white, and I'm going to try this under this eye because I haven't done too much to this side of the face, so I don't think it would matter that I'm then putting baking powder underneath something. So I don't think that looks bad. I didn't sort of lay it there to bake because I can't be asked to wait, but it actually looks quite nice on the skin. It's smooth. It's actually smoothed it all out quite a lot, which is nice. I've just got it in the lid. Yeah, I like this. I've literally never used this. It's just been in the drawer for months. But now I think I might actually use it because I do quite like baking or using baking powder. That side just looks, you know when someone's got about 5 layers of makeup on? That's what this looks like. It's such a grainy highlight. I just really don't like it. So that's another one to keep. Then on this side, I know that I've gone in with powder now, but I'm going to do a cream highlight because I want to try the product. So I've got 2 of these in my drawer, and my sister gave me both, and I assume that she didn't want them, probably because she doesn't like them, and yeah, she's also given them to me. So I've got 2 whole bottles, which are this size, and they're literally brand new. So I kind of want to use them. I never know how to use cream products. Like I'm not a fan of, considering I've got oily skin, I like to use powders so that it sort of dries out the skin a little bit. And I've got a really harsh line at the top there. So obviously it's there, you can see it, but I don't like the way that it creates a kind of line. I know some people put it under their foundation, but I find that when you put cream products under your foundation, or when I do it, I'm probably doing it wrong, but when I do it, it just doesn't show up. Or doesn't show up enough, because I do like quite a bold highlight, and I like to be very bronzed, and so I want things to show up, and sometimes I find that if you put the cream products under the foundation, then because my foundation's so full coverage, it just doesn't appear. So that one I really don't like, but you know when you've got 2 bottles of something, it feels like a waste to throw it away, but like my sister probably gave it to me because she doesn't like it, so I think that one's going to have to be a no as well. I'm going to try another cream highlight and see whether it looks any better. I don't know how to apply these. Since when did I go to here with highlight? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, you get the point. I don't like it. So that's another cream highlight, which I do not like. So that will be going in the bin. That is a Rimmel London one. So this is a tinted skin veil. So it's not classed as a BB cream. It's kind of classed as a light foundation, I think, by the sounds of it. And I initially stopped using it because it was too light for me, because I was fake tanning, and when I went to America I was very tanned anyway. But that doesn't look like a bad match, if I'm honest. And I've got spots on my forehead as well, because I'm lucky, and it's covering those really well. So I think that's another one to keep. So I'm just going to pack all the ones that I'm going to throw away, and then I'm going to tidy up this area and show you my new area. So these are where I keep my 2 setting sprays. These are the ones that I use regularly. The others that I have are in the drawers. So this is just a dewy one. So this is just a dewy one from Makeup Revolution, and then there's another Makeup Revolution one, but this is a glowy one, so I don't use it very often. This is where I keep all my eyeshadow palettes. I do have a larger palette, but that is kept behind the mirror. And yeah, there's quite a few here. And then I have all my loose shadows, my NYX ones, my concealers. That's all in there. And there's also a blush palette, which I sometimes use for eyeshadow. Then here I just have a makeup bag with a few extra beauty blenders in. And I've just got my We Are Tala face cloth. So then I've just got my We Are Tala face cloths. I've got the mini one, and then I've also got the bigger one. So they're just on there. I've got some cotton pads here, my ring holder, my brushes. And then in here I've got anything that will fit, basically. So I've got hand creams, concealers, eyebrow gels, mascaras, eye roll-on, these little face razors, which I absolutely love. Then behind there I've got some more brushes. Then I've got my mirror, my hairbrush, a little bin, and then I've got 2 face palettes here, a highlighter one and a bronzer and concealer one. This is a foundation that I use literally every day. It's the Bourjois Healthy Mix, so that's why it's there. Then up here I have my FR Colour face brush. So this is the one with interchangeable heads. So in here I've got all the different brush heads that you can put on it. Then I've got in this drawer, so this is all my finishing products. So I've got eyelashes, lipsticks, eyelash glue, and then I've also got eyeliners and like sanitizer and water for my beauty blender if I need it. Then in here I have bronzers and baking powders, so all of these are bronzing palettes at the side, and then these are just individual bronzers, and then that's my 2 baking powders that I use, and this is a little tray that I use to put the powder in. Then in here I've just got hair clips and hand sanitizer and a sharpener for my eyeliners. Then in here I've got highlighters and 1 setting powder, and then the rest are unfinished powders, as you can see, which I'm trying to use up. Then in here I've got face products, so I've got some primers and foundations. And in here I have all my cleansing products, so I have my steroid cream because I get eczema, then I've got some toner, some Vaseline, then I've got some creams that I put on at night, so these are just hydrating serums. I've got various different ones in there, and I've also got a few face moisturisers. And then at the side I've just got some more cotton pads, which is like an overflow. So yes, that is the whole area, and now the light is up here and this drawer unit is next to it so that I can sit my camera on here and film, which is what I did earlier. So yes, I thought I'd have a little clear up because I've got a week off work, so I started with that area, and then I'm going to, as you can see in the back of my room, it's really dirty. Then I'm going to clear up my bed, and then I think I'm going to go to bed. I've got loads of rubbish in my room because it's been Christmas, so you know everything comes in a cardboard box. So I've got literally a bag full of cardboard boxes that I need to take outside because they need to be recycled. So yes, I'm going to clear up my bed now. I went to the gym earlier, which was nice, so glad I got that session in, and I'm going to be going again tomorrow. So yeah, this will be going up what will be tomorrow. I'm filming it on Friday evening, but you will see it on Saturday. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you at some point, either on Sunday or I will see you on Tuesday for a video. So yeah, bye.